This is, and I'm going to call you a celebrity because I follow you on Facebook, celebrity chef Kevin Martin. Welcome to the kitchen.
Hi, Monique.
Hey, look, I'm really excited to have you here because I know a few weeks ago we were here and I said to you, Kev, I've got some great avocado oil. What can you do with avocado oil aside from making a stir fry?
Right, and the first thing I did was take the top off the bottle, pour some out of my finger and put it in my mouth.
Serious?
Yep.
Straight away, so you wanted to test the flavour?
Yep.
What were you looking for with avocado oil?
Just the freshness, basically, and creaminess. So that ticked all the boxes. So yeah, no, I knew it was going to work. I've been using avocado oil for a while.
I was going to say, have you used it before? Because obviously your expertise, because I stalk you on Facebook as well as being my mate, I stalk what you do, and you're all about baking.
Yep.
Apart from scallops, which you did last week with the avocado oil.
Well, baking's fun, so yeah, I can't decorate a cake without making a cake. So
that's true. That's true. So you've come up with a special recipe for everybody watching today, and it's a gluten-free recipe as well.
Yep, sure. We're going to be using this gluten-free flour here. It's got baking powder in there, a raising agent, so that'll give it a bit of puff. And ground almonds, icing sugar, egg whites, chocolate, avocado oil and vanilla. Now
with this gluten-free flour, like you said, it's got a raising agent in it. If somebody's got their own gluten-free flour that doesn't have a raising agent, do they just put in, say, some baking powder or something like that?
Yeah, so for this recipe, I'd probably put a half a teaspoon of baking powder in there. So yes, there's other different brands on the market, and some people choose to make their own gluten-free flour because they want to know what's in it.
Yes.
Or certainly want to know, have control over what goes into it. So this one has the baking powder in it, but if you don't, you can just add it into the recipe.
Excellent.
So,
is baking powder gluten-free?
Some of them aren't, so just check on the box and they'll clearly state if they're gluten-free or not.
Excellent. Yeah. Now, obviously there's, we are live from the kitchen right now, so if you've got any questions at all, feel free to send them on through because we're loving having you here on the show. And also, we love to hear from you and see what you're cooking as well. At the same time, the great thing about using avocado oil, because you can use any oil in a recipe that requires
pretty much, yeah, but the avocado oil's got the most flavour, I found.
That's great. Now, of course, there's loads of health benefits, which we're going to show you on a screen right now. There's heaps of health benefits for using avocado oil. So if you are maybe wanting to impress your friends and you want to have, that lovely bread and dip kind of thing, instead of using balsamic vinegar and an olive oil, try avocado oil because at the same time you're filling your body and your guests' bodies with loads of really healthy properties there. You've got, high in potassium, low in salt, tastes great, obviously, high in fiber, loads of omegas in avocado oil. And you'll check out there at the very bottom on that screen, it says it has a high smoke point. So if you are a fan of high heat cooking, this oil will stay stable. So perhaps if you're wanting to cook a steak on a really high heat or do higher heat baking, it's a good oil for that.
Absolutely, yes.
Excellent. All right, so Kev, let's launch into the recipe.
Alrighty, so we've got the recipe online, haven't we?
Yes. I've got it right here on the screen for you.
Perfect.
But at the same time, you can go to moniquebradley.co.nz. The recipe's on there for you. And also make sure you follow Kevin on Facebook because he makes the coolest cakes ever.
So we put this recipe together for you today because it's easy and I just wanted to take the scary out of it. Wanted to make sure everybody could do this at home. So I'm not even using an electric mixer, it's just a wooden spoon and a bowl.
Serious?
Yep.
Cool.
So I've got here 200 grams of ground almonds.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to throw those in. 300 grams of ground icing sugar, So that's confectioner's sugar.
Oh, yep.
It goes in.
Nice and easy.
So that's the Bakels, will I say? Yep.
Yeah,
so
you can say the brand.
The Bakels gluten-free baking mix. So 60 grams of that just goes straight on the top. And that makes it sort of more cakey. So without that, the ground almonds just make it a little bit more crumbly, but you've got to put the baking mix in there to actually bring it back together and turn it into more of a cake. The baking or the raising agent there is just going to give it a bit of spring as well, so it won't be just solid. So I'm just going to give that a wee mix together.
So this is the sort of recipe you might make if you want to impress your friends because it looks pretty fancy. But at the same time, it is the sort of thing you might do, say, for a high tea, if you want to host your own high tea.
It's the sort of things you can do with your kids as well because it's so easy. So yeah, I mean, it's only got half a dozen ingredients in it. And like I said, we're just using a bowl and a spoon. So
wow. Okay, so budget-wise, how are we looking budget-wise?
Right, I did a quick costing on these. These are going to work out at about $2 each. So it's something you probably pay in excess of sort of $7 or $6 for in a cafe. You can make them for $2 each. So we're just going to dress these up with a little bit of creme fraiche and some pomegranate seeds at the end. So
excellent. Yeah. So Kev's actually baking these in real time. So by the end of today's show, he will be decorating his friands. So do stick around for that, and you'll see get some decorating tips as well. So what are you doing there?
Right, I'm just breaking up all the lumps.
So you wouldn't use a sieve or anything? I suppose
No.
it's too big, isn't it?
It's fine. Yeah. It's just icing sugar. And I'm just going to throw my egg whites in here. Now there's 2 egg whites, or about number 6 egg whites. So I'm just going to throw those in.
Does it matter? Does it actually matter with the egg size?
Yeah, it does. So number 6 eggs are around about 50 to 55 grams. So it's really hard when someone says you need 200 mils of egg. It might be, say, 6.5 egg whites. So yeah, so you've got to, it's a lot easier just to be able to crack them and know what you're actually putting into your recipe. 7s and 8s, they're a lot bigger. You get those little 5-size eggs, and they've only got like 20 mils of egg whites in it.
So if you're using a size 8, will it become too liquidy?
Yeah, absolutely. So all my recipes.
Liquidy. Did you hear that? How's that for a technical term?
I knew what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So number 6s are the eggs I use. All my recipes are based on number 6s. So egg whites are in there now, and I'm just going to throw the oil in. And look how green that is.
That is beautiful. This is one of the things I noticed when I first started using avocado oil is the colour is so intense and beautiful.
And it makes, so this is a blonde cake, so that everything that's going into it is white apart from the chopped up chocolate. So it's actually going to make the inside of my cake slightly go green as well.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah, so it just makes them look good.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now with this recipe, if somebody doesn't want to make them gluten-free, can you make them with normal flour or
Absolutely
self-raising
you can.
flour?
Yep, normal self-raising flour will be fine.
Is it just you interchange the same amount of ingredient?
Yep.
Cool.
Like for like. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's in there now. I'm just going to add some real vanilla essence in there. So about 5 mils.
How did you know that was 5 mils? Because you've worked with it for such a long time? You just know.
Yeah, even if it's more, it's just going to be more delicious.
Okay, perfect. I like it.
All right, and that's pretty much the recipe. All I'm going to do now is I've got some Whittaker's 72% chocolate. I've just chopped that up. I'm going to throw that in.
Obviously, not only tasty, but health benefits with using 72%. Right. That's what you were thinking.
And wash it down with a glass of red wine.
Perfect. Excellent. What's the baking time with this recipe?
Okay, so my little loaves that I'm making, I've got a tin over here. So this is just a silicone tray that I use at home. You can buy smaller metal ones of this. These take about 27 minutes to 30 minutes to bake. If you're going to do cupcakes, they'll take anywhere sort of between 15 and 18 minutes. So yeah, just obviously the bigger they are, the longer they take to bake.
I have a question about silicone as well. Yep. What is there a benefit to using silicone over metal trays?
Yeah, they have a tendency of not sticking as much.
Of course.
Yeah, so that's where I come from on them. Also, if you, as a pastry chef, if you use silicone molds for things like mousse and frozen desserts, you can just turn around and pop them straight out. Whereas if it was a rigid form, you sort of have to dip it in water, loosen it up, sort of tap it and try and get it out. So these just pop straight out.
That is so good.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's great. Because I thought, perhaps silicone, because it's quite thin compared to metal, might adjust the cooking time. Not really?
No, not really. It's actually, it insulates it more than anything. So it conducts just as well as metal.
Brilliant.
So there you go. So that's pretty much it. And all I'm going to do now is, I should have left that on the bench, just get some quick release spray. Oh. Now, they won't stick to the silicone.
Yes.
But just to be on the safe side and make life a lot easier, just so I can turn it upside down, they basically fall out. I'm just going to put some release spray on there.
Perfect. Hello, Lynette Hill, who's watching. I know that she has snuck out of work to come and watch the show, so I didn't say that publicly, but kia ora, Lynette. Great to see you on the stream. And
now I'm just going to split the mix evenly, as I possibly can with a wooden spoon. Use a piping bag, ice cream scoop, anything.
I was going to say, is there I've seen some chefs using something like an ice cream scoop to ensure you get the same amount of mixture into every container, especially if you're doing it for a cafe, right?
Absolutely,
you do that.
So just portion control's the way to go. Yeah,
so you mentioned to me before we went live today that you've worked with avocado oil for a while.
Yep.
I thought it was a relatively new to market product.
No, there's a lot of oils on the market. There's walnut oil, avocado oil, pistachio nut oil, hazelnut oil, and they all have their jobs, and we use a lot of those nut oils, especially in chocolates and things like that. But with avocado oil, we used to have a lodge, and one of the best items on the menu was our scallops that we used to pan fry in the avocado oil, and then we used to use the avocado oil and make a lime mayonnaise to put on the top, which I think is what I shared the other day as well. Yeah, Kev shared that. It's actually on the Monique Bradley Facebook page. I've shared that out as well. How does, with something like scallops don't really have a lot of flavour, do they? It's subtle, yeah, but they're creamy as well, just like the avocado oil is. So, again, so if you've got nice fresh scallops, you probably just want to use the avocado oil in a mayonnaise, and it would complement the scallops. they're not always available all year round. Sometimes we have to use frozen scallops. They have a tendency of having a little bit less flavour. So yeah, you can just pep it up by putting a little bit of avocado oil, lemon zest, pan fry it like that.
Oh, there you go. An extra bonus tip in today's show. It's great. Oh, Lynette's just said, oops, I've snuck off for a cup of tea to watch the fabulous show. Thanks, Lynette. Good to see you on the stream. Oh, and I can see Romina Macedra Lily is watching today as well. Hola, chica, ¿cómo estás? Nice to see you on the stream. Awesome. Well, that's looking good. And look, that was really easy. You did really that in like, what, 5 minutes?
Yeah, and I was able to talk while I was doing it, which is
so proud of you.
multitasking.
Yeah, how's that? Guy multitasking. I don't believe in that gender stuff because I know some women who can't multitask, like me. Excellent. So what heat in the oven?
So normally around about 170 in a conventional oven. We've got a fan oven, so it's going to be 150. We're going to put those in for around about 27 minutes.
There's a picture of the Freehand set that you actually made earlier in the week or last week.
Test drove them and took a photo so you had something to put on the screen.
I know, so pretty. So that is right on the front page of my website, top left-hand corner, I believe. So you can download that, try this recipe out in the weekend. And here's the thing, if you make it, send us a picture of your creation because I guess everybody's going to decorate these differently, right?
Absolutely. Like I said, we're going to put a creme fraiche and some pomegranate seeds on the top, but fresh raspberries, mascarpone cream, all that sort of stuff. Beautiful.
Yes, this is the best job in the world. So yeah, try the recipe for yourself, and at the end of the show, Kev's going to decorate them up and give you some styling tips on how you want to impress your friends on Instagram as well. How does that sound?
Great for high teas.
Excellent, excellent. So in the meantime, I've got a very special friend to introduce you to. But if you want to find out more about Green Touch avocado oil, by the way, here's the information for you. It is actually not available in retail stores, so you can find it on this website, guidetobettershopping.com. Great price point, and they also do gift packs and gift boxes. So it is a really nice gift, perhaps for somebody moving into a home or, you know, the housewarming kind of gift. Yeah, it's really nice, or a corporate gift even. So head to guidetobettershopping.com and take a look there. We are back in the kitchen already. Caught me off guard there a little bit. Kev, oh my goodness, what have you got going on? Right. These are your freehands.
Yeah, so the magic of television, always wanted to say it.
There you go. Here's one we prepared earlier.
Minutes, so I pre-made these because even if I had made them and baked them, they still had time to cool to put the creme fraiche on the top. So we knocked these ones out and we've just dusted them with a little bit of icing sugar.
Now, I have to say, I've heard that icing sugar is the magical ingredient if you have a disaster as well, right? So if you've got a crack in your cheesecake, cover it up. I worked with Annabelle White at the food show for a number of years, and she said even if you've got boring guests, just sprinkle them with icing sugar at a dinner party and they'll even look more attractive. So there you go.
I think one thing we always say with cakes is every cake has a back.
A what?
A back. So the bit that normally is broken always
goes to the back.
And so every cake has a back. So I think it's
chef secrets. That's hilarious. Okay, so they've come out. How long do they take to cool, do you reckon?
So on a wire rack, these would have probably taken about half an hour to 40 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So not long. The beauty of these as well is normally freehands are made with butter, melted butter. So you pour it in, and then when they set, they firm up because butter solidifies.
Oh, of course, it solidifies.
So with the beauty of the oil is it's always going to stay sort of gooey and sort of unctuous. Now,
we like that.
Have a tendency of crisping on the top. So you'll have a crispy top and you'll have a gooey sort of centre. So
we like that, much like myself. Crispy on the top and gooey centre. That's weird.
And in a box, probably in a container, airtight container, you'd probably sort of get 5 days out of them.
Are you for real?
Yes, and they'll stay nice and soft as well.
So question, I know I've made a really dense kind of a chocolatey cake, which was almost like a mud cake. I used an oil for it. I know you mentioned earlier to me that oil's not necessarily great for a mud cake.
No, absolutely.
It's all right?
Yeah, what I was saying was something as subtle and buttery as an avocado oil, I probably wouldn't put in it because the cocoa would probably overpower it.
Gotcha. So this cake I made, I'm going to say it got moister. It got more moist with the oil. Is this going to happen with this recipe? So if you leave them a couple of days, will they become more moist?
Yeah, cakes actually mature. I mean, some cakes you leave for 24 hours just so they develop the flavours and stuff as well.
For real?
I've got a bran muffin recipe that has finely diced apple in it, and on the third day, not even the second day, but on the third day, they're a lot more moist than they are on the first day. So yeah, those they're great. It's a really awesome. I should.
Yeah, I think that would be great. If you guys want to know that recipe as well, just send me some hearts or some thumbs through in the news feed and we'll get Kev to come in and demo them as well. Sweet. Sounds like a great idea. Just checking the news feed. Carly Coolidge from America. She just said, first of all, fermented foods. Yes, that's what I did on the health show last week. I will send you a link, Carly, so you can have a look. Great for the gut. And she's also just said, is icing sugar powdered sugar? Because she's in America.
Confectionery sugar, powdered sugar, and ground almonds is almond meal where you're from. So,
Excellent. So, Carly, I know you've only just come into the broadcast in the last few minutes. There is a recipe for these on moniquebradley.co.nz. It's right on the front page. These are gluten-free friands.
Yeah, or friand styles. I mean, friand's traditionally made with butter, but we've taken the butter out and put our avocado oil in. Excellent.
There you go. Cool. So this is the pretty bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got some pomegranate seeds here, and I've got some little edible flowers, 100% edible, and I've also got some creme fraiche. Now, if you don't want to use creme fraiche, because some people find it a little bit acidic, it works really well with this because they're quite creamy. You can use some whipped fresh cream or some mascarpone.
Yum!
So what I'm going to do is just going to take a teaspoon. Which camera are we on? Are we on this one?
We're on that one, that camera. They'll be able to see.
My little Miss Sunshine cup. I'm just going to take a teaspoon. Now, this is boiling water. I boiled it while you were chatting before.
Excellent.
And all I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape along like that and get a perfect little quenelle.
How did you do that?
Now, you can do that with ice cream. You can do it with white chocolate mousse. You can do it with all sorts of things, but you've got to get your angle of your teaspoon right. So if I was just to do it like that.
I was going to say, do you do it, is it how you hold your tongue?
Yeah, no,
how you hold your mouth?
That's how you hold your teaspoon.
Excellent.
And I'm just going to
that is beautiful.
So you don't need a piping bag. You don't need to be able to do fancy things, and you can take this.
I'm pleased to hear that actually, because to be honest, I'm a bit of a numpty when it comes to using a piping bag. Is there any special technique, or is it just practice?
It's just practice. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
But this should just sit nicely.
Can you make your own creme fraiche?
You can.
But why would you, I suppose?
Well, this is a nice firm one. This one's perfect for quenelling straight out the fridge, so yeah.
Why did they call it a quenelle?
I don't know.
Is it just the shape of it?
Must be. Oh, you can do them with 2 spoons as well and get like a 3-sided or a 4-sided quenelle.
Wow.
Perhaps that's where the name came from.
Oh, yeah, because I'm thinking Quinn as well. That is really cool. Oh, hello, Jane Wan, who's joined today's show. Lovely to have you watching the stream as well. That is amazing. So that looks pretty, but it really,
hard,
you've just done it pretty easily. And I suppose, I mean, you've worked in catering and cafes and restaurants as well?
Absolutely, yep.
So I suppose you're used to whipping them out pretty quickly. So again, it's just practice.
Yep, and the bigger the spoon, obviously, the bigger the quenelle. So if you were to make a white chocolate, milk chocolate, dark chocolate mousse, just 3 quenelles of that on a plate can look pretty stunning as well. So
fancy. That's so good.
Just going to put some of these pomegranate seeds on the top.
So pretty.
Now, I don't know if you've had pomegranates before. You enjoy them?
No, I've never had pomegranates before. I've never eaten a pomegranate seed because I didn't actually think. I know that people use them, but I didn't think. I thought seeds. Why would you eat seeds? I know pumpkin seeds and things like that. Is it kind of crunchy or is it?
It's sort of kind of crunchy. Lots of texture. Lots of the flavour is mild, but it's definitely there, and it's quite floral. So with something like this, that's again quite delicate. Pomegranates. Yeah,
I'm going to try some actually. Now, question about pomegranates. When they're in season, so they're not often in season, right? When they're in season, could you get the pomegranate seeds out yourself and do it?
Oh, absolutely. You just cut them in half. So you can. There's lots of things on YouTube on how to best sort of take the seeds out of your pomegranates, but
they're amazing.
Beautiful in the salad. Yep.
It's kind of like a little grape.
Yep. Juicy.
Kind of pops in your mouth. It's very cool. Kevin, that just looks beautiful.
Not hard, is it?
No. So any particular flowers, if people have got flowers in the garden,
if you're in doubt, Google them, because some flowers are poisonous. So,
okay.
So I just like rocking into a shop and grabbing edible flowers, because I know I don't have to sort of research what I'm putting on. But there's lots of information again online. Father's Day is coming up. So these will make a good sort of father. Like I said, you can do it with the kids, so the kids can do this with you, and you can for dad.
Oh, that's so cool, Kev. Other topping suggestions? So if they don't have flowers, what else could they put on there? And no pomegranates?
Okay, again, I'm going to put another brand name out there. So are you familiar with Fresh Airs?
Yes, Fresh Airs. They do the freeze-dried
powders and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so the freeze-dried raspberries and the freeze-dried plums are just awesome on something like this as well. So lots of texture, some really deep reds, colours and all that sort of stuff as well. So yeah, I love using those powders. So again, they put a lot of colour onto something 100% naturally. So rather than putting food colouring in a cream or something like that to add a bit of pink or something, you can just use the Fresh Air powders and
beautiful. So you can do that same sort of topping on other cakes. And
Absolutely.
That looks really stunning, and it's just so simple, Kev. Well done. High five to you, my friend.
Cheers.
Really good job. And look, if you want that recipe, if you want to try it, again, go to moniquebradley.co.nz. And one of the things I would encourage you to do is, in fact, to follow Kev on Facebook. What's your Facebook page?
So Facebook is Kevin Martin Cake Designer.
Excellent. And on there you also do some videos with a modelling chocolate as well?
Right, we've got a company called Chocolate, and we make our own modelling chocolate. We distribute throughout New Zealand and Australia at the moment, and basically it's just a different medium for covering cakes. If you think of fondant as Play-Doh, modelling chocolate is like plasticine, so it's got some different sort of characteristics for doing different jobs, or certainly attacking cake decorating.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
And so is it a good alternative for people who perhaps don't like that?
If you don't like that sugary flavour and you like the flavour of chocolate, that's definitely the way to go.
Yeah, well, I've got a winner here, and I think I probably need to try it, Kev. Thank you. Just to do some sampling. Well, that's the end of today's show. I do want to say a big shout out to everybody who's been part of the show. Thanks to all my lovely ladies who have contributed their wisdom to the show. Kevin, thank you. You're a freaking legend. I love working with you in the kitchen. It's great, and we hope to have you back again.